Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Hearthstone. So today we're going to do another arena run. Okay, so this time we have a choice between three heroes that we've not done yet. I think that what we'll do is since the mage is so popular and a lot of people run her, I think that, and since even though I didn't do it officially, we did the priests for a fun run recently, I think we're going to do the warrior this time. The important thing about oh wow, okay, great. The important thing about warriors, I'll say right at the beginning, is a lot of people link it to the number of weapons that you have means basically how far you're going to go. So we're going to be aiming to get a lot of weapons with the warrior here. Now, as for this legendary, we're certainly not going to pick Nosdormu, even though that's a fun thing to do sometimes. Harrison Jones is good. It's a good 5-drop, and it's good if you can catch somebody else's weapon. It's like a better Swamp Ooze in a lot of ways. But I think we're going to take Sylvanas here. Sylvanas is just a nice solid 6-drop. 5/5 for 6 is not the greatest, but by the same token, the Death Rattle either forces people to play around it, or you get creatures. So it's quite effective for what it is. Okay, now here, so the Dread Corsair is basically best in a warrior deck, but that presumes that we have weapons. And it is a possibility that in an arena you don't draft any weapons at all. If you don't, that's a pretty terrible card. But since we're at 1 card out of 30 here, Novice Engineer is good. I think we're actually going to pick the Dread Corsair on a bit of a hope, essentially, that in 28 cards we'll get a weapon. Here we'll probably take the well, this is tough. Not the boar. It's between the rifleman and the priestess. The priestess is usually people think that she's better than she is. She only has 4 health for being a 6-drop. It's a lot of mana for what it is. And the 4 health is not bad. It's good, but it will often never change the game. Whereas the Ironforge Rifleman is like a really weak SI7 agent, if you want to think of it that way. 2/2 for 3 is not great, but the 1 damage battle cry can actually affect the board positively. So I think we are actually going to take the Ironforge Rifleman, even though this is a tough choice. Okay, this one's easy. We're not making a pirate deck, even though we do have the Dread Corsair. No matter how tempting it is in Arena, you never ever ever want to go for a synergy deck, because it will almost assuredly fail you. So in this case, we're certainly going to take the Faceless Manipulator. Okay, once again, we're not going to take the Spiteful Smith. We're going to take the Sinjin Shieldmaster because it's a good value card. And while it's tempting to take the Spiteful Smith here, I think that it is generally, I mean, we could have good weapon synergy, but we could also not draft any weapons, and that would reduce its value significantly, whereas the Sinjin Shieldmaster is just an excellent card. So we're going to go with that. All of these are excellent warrior cards. I think that the most valuable one here is the Crocon Elite, so we're going to go for this. We do need to start watching the curve a little bit, though. All the more so because I think we're going to take the Yeti here. Brewmaster is good in certain situations. The Whirlwind is great for synergy with warrior cards generally, but we don't have any that would synergize with it. And again, you don't ever draft for synergy, you draft for value. So we're going to take the Yeti. The Worgen Infiltrator is a great 1-drop, and the Bluegill Warrior is a really good 2-drop. But I think we'll take the Worgen here to have something to play on the first turn. Well, you know, by the same token, I say that. The Bluegill Warrior is also very good as far as removal. It's emergency removal for 2 mana. So I think we're actually going to do this instead. The Dalaran Mage is poor value in basically every circumstance, and especially so with a warrior draft. The Arathi Weaponsmith is certainly going to be our pick here. It's a 3/3 for 4, but we also get a weapon with it. And I said before, weapons equal wins for warriors, so we're going to take this. We don't have enough weapons to really justify upgrade yet. Though then again, it gives us a 1/3 weapon. So actually, I say that, but it would actually be effective. The Ravenhold Assassin is a nice strong finisher. We're certainly not going to take the Murloc. You know, I think we will take upgrade here. It's a weapon, or it is an upgrade to a weapon. How are we looking on 2-drops? So we have a lot of 4s at the moment. In fact, our whole deck is basically mid to late game. So I want some early game. Core Chrono Elite's really good though. I think we're early enough in the draft that we can still go for value over curve, but we need to really start being careful. Okay, so here we're not going to pick the Light Warden or the Mana Addict, so by default we'll get the Imp Master, which is not a terrible choice. Inner Rage is really great if you have synergy for it. It's also very good early game removal. If somebody else plays a Leper Gnome or something, you can kill it for free, which is really nice. People often think of this as just a card for buffing, but it's actually a removal card as well. Dark Iron Dwarf is great, but I'm conscious about 4s. We have plenty of 4s, and I don't really want any more. The Novice Engineer is good for cards, and right now we don't have any card draw. So this is a tough choice between the Inner Rage and the Novice Engineer. I think here we're going to pick the Novice Engineer, partially because this is a limited removal. It's great for the early game, and it's great in Constructed, but not so much in Arena. And we have no card draw mechanics, and we will need some. Here we're going to take the Frostwolf Warlord, because even though I'm concerned about my late game at the moment as far as having too much, the Murloc Raider is bad, and the Frostwolf Grunt is also bad. So we'll go with this. Okay, Arcanite Reaper. It's tough because it's late game, but it's also a weapon, and weapons equal wins. Okay, here we're going to go with the Wolf Rider over the other two. It is not a great card, but these two are worse. The Imani Berserker is an excellent opening game card for the warrior. I don't have any methods to enrage because I've been trying to not go for synergy, or at the very least I've been conscious of avoiding putting too much on synergy, but nonetheless it's still great for 2. The Abusive Sergeant is great for 1. And again, we're not going to have the Battle Rage only because we don't have methods of enraging, really. We don't have methods of doing damage to everything. We're going to take another Arathi Weaponsmith. Okay, this one's tough. So, another Faceless Manipulator is great. This deck doesn't have a lot to facelessly manipulate. We do have Sylvanas, which is nice. We could buff up a Frostwolf Warlord and take another Faceless. Or rather, Faceless it as well, and that's strong. Brawl is one of the best removal spells you can have, especially if you're behind. It's great for that. Shield Slam is also an excellent removal card if you have means by getting a lot of armor, and we don't necessarily at the moment. I think that right now it looks like we're mid-late game, and what that means is that we're probably going to be behind in the early game. And so since we already have a Faceless Manipulator, I think that the right choice here is Brawl. So we could have more early game, or we could have more weapons. The Whirlwind is only going to synergize here with the Imani Berserker, so I'm not interested in that. The River Crocolisk is one of the not as good 2-drops. I think we're going to go for more weapons. Here we're certainly going to go for the Cruel Taskmaster. Yetis are great, but we already have one and there's a lot of 4s. We probably don't need 4 Arathi Weaponsmiths, and the Cruel Taskmaster can enrage the Imani Berserker, and also, just like Inner Rage, it can effectively take out enemy creatures with its damage, so we will certainly take that. We will absolutely take the Fiery War Axe. Excellent, excellent early game card. Murloc Tidehunter and the Stone Tusk Boar are both not great. We're going to go here for, well, what's our end game like? We have a lot of mid, and so I think that our end game is just a lot of mid. So I don't think I like the War Golem. I think that I do want the Dire Wolf here. Okay, so this is a good choice. We're getting a lot of weapons here, to the point where I'm actually considering sort of being slower about the weapons from now on. Another Arcanite Reaper is a really strong choice. Another Fiery War Axe is really good for the early game. Because I already have some late weapons, I have a lot of late weapons with the Arathi Weaponsmith, and mid weapons, the Fiery War Axe is strong. The other option that we have is Slam. And Slam is good for control, it's also good for card draw, which we have basically none of at the moment. And right now we have 1, 4, 5 weapons, essentially. Having another Arcanite Reaper would be really nice, though. I think it wins in this case. It's a really tough choice, though. Okay, Heroic Strike is good, but by the same token we have very few by way of 3-drops. I'm not as concerned with the 1-drops, but I am concerned with 3s, so I think we're going to take the Razorfen Hunter. Then again, the Heroic Strike is a very strong spell, especially for finishing games with things like the Arcanite Reaper. It's also, it's sort of a quasi-weapon in the way that it can just sort of buff you. We're going to go with the Hunter instead. More creatures. Here we're going to go with the Raging Worgen. It's an excellent 3-drop for warriors. The Magma Rager is out of the question. 1 health is just... 5-1 is one of the worst stat allocations you could ever hope for. The Ventrico Merc is a very strong late-game card. Very strong. And then the Fairy Dragon is a very strong early-game card. We actually have a decent early game. Let's look at what we have here. We have 3 more cards left. We have essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 early game cards. And then our mid game is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's a very strong mid game. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we actually have less late game than we think we do. Mostly it's mid. So I think I'm going to take the we're going to take the Ventrico to add to that late game. Now, the Warsong Commander and the Spellbreaker. I don't think I'm going to take another Kor'kon Elite because we already have 2. The Spellbreaker is really very valuable. Silences are really good. The Warsong Commander is also good because we have a lot of creatures that actually have less than 3 attack. 3 attack and less. In fact, it seems like the majority of our creatures are that way. Okay, you know what? We're going to get some value out of the Warsong Commander, almost assuredly. On turn 5, we have a lot of options for making charge minions. Turn 6, we have even more. Really devastating play is turn 6, Warsong Commander, Raging Worgen. Even more devastating would be turn 8, Warsong Commander, Raging Worgen, and Cruel Taskmaster to the Raging Worgen. So all of that is very outside chance, and I don't think that it's something that we should count on, but even still, it'll be a value card, I think. Now, we certainly will take another upgrade here because we have so many weapons, it only makes sense. Alarmabot is never a pick in the arena, and the Emperor Cobra is good, but I think upgrade is better. So that's our deck. So let's have a look. Essentially, we have a very balanced curve, which is rare. Usually it cants to one side or the other. But so we're going to have an early lead, essentially. We have the Fiery War Axe and several 2 minions, including one that has card draw. The Direwolf is sort of a mid to late game card if you want to use it that way for buffing. We have early game removal in a couple of ways, and something that we can enrage if we so choose. We have an early mid game that's quite strong. We have the Imp Master, Ironforge Rifleman, and the Raging Worgen, and the Razorfen Hunter. We have the Wolf Rider for charging. We also have the Warsong Commander that makes everything that I have so far said charge, so that's good. Then going into the late mid-game, we actually have a lot of stuff. We have the Arathi Weaponsmith, which gives us more weapons than we will know what to do with. The Yeti's strong. The Dread Corsair will absolutely get his value. With the Fiery War Axe or the Arcanite Reapers, it goes down to 0 cost, or 1 cost with the Fiery War Axe, and with the Weaponsmith it goes down to 2, all of which is high value. We have charge minions, we have shields, we have weapons, we have early game removal if we need it. Now that I think about it, we have such an early mid game that this might be a bit of a struggle, but if we are behind, it's really going to be excellent. We have a Faceless Manipulator for Sylvanas. We also have a Faceless Manipulator for any of their legendaries or high up cards. And then we have a little bit of a late game as well with the Frostwolf Warlord and the Ventrico. So I actually like this deck. I think that it will do fairly well. Probably in the middle of the win rate. I'm hopeful that this can go 7 and get the full value back. So, let's give it a shot.
Versus Jaina.
Okay. We're against a mage, camo backpack. Okay, so we're going to get rid of Sylvanas, and I'm tempted to keep Upgrade because of an early Fiery War Axe. That would be absolutely devastating, but I think we're going to hold off and go for the safer play. Yep, that's a really good start. So we can do a couple of things. We could start Abusive Sergeant, but I don't think that's useful. We also could coin out an Amani Berserker, which in this case I like because she has a 1 health minion on the board, or 1 damage minion rather, which I can run it into.
It's time for a little blood.
Okay, she's gonna Frostbolt. That's victory for us. Means it's a Frostbolt that is not spent somewhere else. And we'll get a card here.
I hope you like my invention.
Job's done.
Okay. Next turn, much as I don't really like it, I would like to combo it. If we have no other options, the Warsong Commander is not a... Well, it just became a bad play, because she will immediately trade with it. She has some mad synergy with the Scarlet Crusaders here. Okay, so we could upgrade, get ourselves a 1/3 weapon for the purpose of killing the Divine Shield here, and then shielding up. I think that's probably not a terrible idea.
Job's done.
Now, what I just did there was I hit my armor before I attacked, and normally it is strictly worse to do that. The lower health, in Constructed especially, the lower your warrior's health is, the better, and the higher the armor, the better. Because of cards like Moral Strike. Okay, we've got an Ice Lance. Wow. Yeah, Mortal Strike and things like that function on low health, so I mean it's good to keep it low. Now, in this circumstance, we could use the Kor'kon Elite, but I actually prefer to put down the Warsong Commander and use the Abusive Sergeant to take out the 3/1. I would like to combo the Warsong Commander with the Raging Worgen, but I think here it is better to clear out her 3/1 so that... Oh, well, it's actually irrelevant. Better to clear out the 3/1. I don't know why I didn't just give it to my own creature, but that's fine. Now, hopefully she doesn't have a method of clearing that out, but I'm sure she probably will. If she doesn't, then we have a lot of good plays. But she will instead, I guess, overreact. I think that is an overreaction, but that's okay. So this turn, we have, with the Kor'kon Elite, that's a good pick. We also have the Wolf Rider followed by Armor, with the Raging Worgen followed by Armor. In any case, we're going to do this. And I think we're going to be mana efficient and do the Raging Worgen. It may well draw out some more removal, so I'm okay with that.
Your magic shall not save.
Okay, Spellbreak. I will still, even if she hits that, it's irrelevant, because I will trade with her. Oh no, okay, the arrows were misleading there, once again. Now, there are a number of ways we could go about this. We could put down the Wolf Rider and armor up. We could put down the Kor'kon Elite, actually, and armor up. That'd be better. We could trade the Worgen. We could also put down the Arcanite Reaper and leave the Worgen alive and kill that ourselves. I think, though, it's probably better to trade and armor up. And I don't mind dropping the weapon, of course, because it is not a great weapon, and we have plenty of means by which to acquire new weapons next turn. Next turn, a very strong option will be a Arathi Weaponsmith, followed by the Wolf Rider. We get the 2/2 weapon and also a charge minion, as well as another 3/3 body. Okay, Ice Lance on the minion. Has that been 2 Ice Lances now that she's used? I believe it is. It's quite the draft, and also pretty unfortunate for her, it seems, because that was a pretty bad turn 7. We will do this play. Now this looks really appealing to Flame Strike, but even if she does that, we're okay. We have a lot of options. Cone of Cold. Okay. She drafted a freeze deck. She would have wanted to spend the Ice Lances on this, of course. So this opens us up nicely for the Frostwolf Warlord, followed by the Ironforge Rifleman and the Frostwolf Warlord. I think that's probably the best option. Get a nice big minion on the table. Again, this turn we're going to be, well, for now, for the rest of the game, we're going to be hitting her or something with a weapon every single turn, just because we have so many weapons that we can use. Twilight Drake. Okay, so that's probably a Vaporize. It could also be a Mirror Entity. We we'll test it with the Iron Forge Rifleman.
Fire!
Okay, no, so it's probably going to be a mirror entity. So in that case, we're just going to hit her. And if that is not an ice block, we win. And it isn't. Great! So it's a nice strong showing for this deck to start off. Oh, and I had a daily quest today for the warrior anyway, so that's a happy coincidence. Okay, up against a rogue.
Watch your back.
Victory or death!
Okay, so we're going to mulligan all of these things except the Imani Berserker. The upgrade was a nice thing to have last game as an early game removal, but I'm hoping that I get something better. The Arathi Weaponsmith is not terrible here, and that's not a bad curve, although I would have liked another 2. So we will coin out the Imani Berserker here.
It's time for a little blood.
I would love for her to hit the Imani Berserker, but of course she will not. Well, okay, that was a happy enough top deck.
Who you want me killed?
Deadly Poison, take it, the Imani Berserker. And a Bloodsail Raider. We're playing Constructed Rogues again. This is incredible. Between my experience playing the Rogue and my experience when I did the Hunter draft, Rogues apparently just get obscenely good drafts at all times. Next turn we will put out the Arathi Weaponsmith to deal with that.
I'm ready. I'm not ready. Try this.
Now, I don't really have a good means of doing 3 damage except with the Weaponsmith, but nonetheless I'll run it into that. Next turn, oh wow. Value Bloodsail Corsair. Once again, it's hard to believe that there were 2 things worse than that. This is a pretty scary board that she has now. The Ogre actually killed itself. That was probably the wrong choice. Unfortunately, I have no good mana-efficient options. If we do the Arathi Weaponsmith again, I think that's actually the best choice. We can then take out the Knife Juggler ourselves. The other happy news is that she's almost out of cards.
The gates are open.
Okay, Lord of the Arena. That's going to be a tricky thing to deal with. One way of dealing with that would be Krokron Elite into Cruel Taskmaster. The other thing is that I could simply trade. I could take the 6 damage, but I'm actually not really a fan of that at the moment. I think we're going to do this. We're going to burn the Krokron Elite and Cruel Taskmaster to kill it. And then we're going to get our value out of the Arathi Weaponsmith. Yep. Next turn we could do Venture Co, but it's a little bit scary with the minions that we have at the table. The Sengen looks good. The Yeti looks good. Let's see what we top deck. An Arcanite Reaper would actually be excellent here. And it is not to be. Happily, though, it makes it mana efficient. I think we're going to put out the Sengen. And we'll put out the charge minion. We'll just go for it.
Your magic shall not.
Spellbreaker on the Sengen. Perdition's Blade to take out the Wolf Rider. Wow. Now, she could have attacked with that, but I don't... Oh, of course she did. I misspoke. Okay. So the Dread Corsair is not usually a good option without a weapon. Although, in this case, it might be, because it is the mana-efficient option. So I think we will do this, put out a taunt. We'll use the Sengen to effectively trade with the Spellbreaker. It's not good in terms of efficiency, but by the same token, it makes it harder for her to do the damage she needs to do.
Like my invention.
Happily, the Dread Corsair is just out of her reach with the daggers,
I've got a huge.
although it is not anymore. The Amani here can take out my Yeti, which is great value. Okay, now I don't dare take out the Berserker with that. Unfortunately, I'm going to trade the Senja.
You gotta be kidding me!
But we will take out the Novice Engineer at the very least.
Job's done.
Very strong. A lot of value there. So, this is looking increasingly worse for us. We can armor up every turn, which is good. We can certainly delay for a while while we try to get cards that will help us. We have charge minions left. We have Sylvanas that has yet to come out. A couple of other things. So, we very well could win, still. But it's going to be difficult. Okay, so let's do some math. So she can hit me next turn for 13. Right? Yep, 13. And I can hit her this turn for 3. So if that's the case, she will be down to 5 health and I will be down to 3 health. And if I were to kill the Yeti, the Ventrico Merc is still going to be a problem. So now if she draws 3 damage, I'm dead either way because I've taken the damage from the Yeti. So, in actual fact, I am going to just go for her face here and hope that I top deck the Arcanine Reaper or something of this sort. And by 13, or by taking me down to 3, I mean to 5. There are a number of things that I could top deck that would save me here, but in that case, the likelihood that I will lose is high, but either way, the right choice is to go for the face there. Now, that was a bad play. She could have just rushed me down, I think. Although then again, it prevents me from doing something. Oh, perfect. So that's... Brawl is going to be at least somewhat helpful, although the Ogre will survive. Pro tip about Brawl, the last creature that jumps in is the one that lives. So she's down to 3. We're both top decking. If I get a weapon, I win, or a charge minion. I think I have another Corcoran Link that is unspent.
Shields up.
And now I don't. That was probably the best top deck she could have possibly gotten in that circumstance. At this point, I'm not sure if there's any, and of course, it actually did save her. At this point, I think there is nothing else that I can do.
Well played.
Well played.
That top deck saved her. That's unfortunate.
It's me and Mr. Fight.
Well, very close. Very close.
Well played.
Okay, so we have a priest here.
The light shall bring victory. Victory or death!
Alright. So, I think that's fine. Presumably he will start slow, so I'm not so concerned about a slow start myself. A very slow start myself. Okay, wow. Well, I think we're just going to get in some early damage because on an open board it's great to play minions like this. It gives it the best possible chance of it having a second attack.
Pass me that arc light spanner.
Okay, I think we're going to put out the weapon this turn. Yeah, I think that's probably the best. And we will hit, let's hit the Inventor, just for the reason that that way you can't trade properly with anything. He's got to heal it up first. Okay, mind games.
You gotta be kidding me!
Wow. Well, at the very least, you can't play any minions now. But that was a very good thing. Okay, well that was not a bad pick there. So we can play the 2 creature, and then we can put down either the Razorfen Hunter or the Imp Master. Both are fine. We could also Faceless Manipulator the Ventrico, but I think that I'd rather not. Yeah, I think we're just going to kill the Gnomish Inventor. Put this out first, of course. And let's go for the Imp Master. It's a good board to play it into. Now, if you happen to draft a Holy Nova, this is a dream for him. Well, then again, it's not really. Oh, wow. Ha! So he had the combo. So, I think Sylvanas is strong here. The other thing that we could do is Faceless Manipulator. Both are good. Yeah, I think we're going to Faceless Manipulator this. It's mana inefficient, but by the same token, I think that it's the right choice. Ah, Shadow Word Death.
Not good, not good.
Okay, so we still have enough damage with the Arcanite Reaper. Do we still? 6, we're 1 short. Well, that's heartbreaking. Well, I think we live this turn. So I guess we're gonna go for it, and hope that he doesn't have, what, 4 damage lying around? Certainly potential that he does. Holy Nova. Yeah. Oh, and he's actually gonna heal. So we lost. Wow. That's great. So we sort of pulled that one out. That was a bit of a random game on both fronts. Him getting this with the mind games, and then us getting the Arcanite Reaper at the right time. Anyway, good game.
Garrosh versus Roll.
Alright, so we have a Shaman.
Doomhammer. Victory or death.
This is a very rushy opening hand that we have. Yeah, I think this is good. I think I don't mind how this is right at the moment. Especially given that we have a number of other 2 minions in the deck and the coin. We can we have a 2, a 3, and then a probably turn 4 and 5 play in there as well. But let's do this and get out the Bluegill. It's going to give it the most chance of actually doing more than just 2 damage. And also a really good chance of baiting out early removal.
It's time for a little blood.
So at this point the Bluegill has certainly gotten its value.
Put this apple on your head.
Seems like it's going to get its value again too. Oh yeah, it's going to get super value.
Who you want me here?
Now the question is Wolf Rider or Imp Master. They're both equally quite appealing right at the moment. But let's go with the riskier play since he doesn't seem to have an answer at the moment. We'll be very aggressive about this. Next turn we can solve problems with the Weaponsmith as well.
Shall not fall.
So we could, well, we're gonna play the Weaponsmith. So we could take out the shield and then trade 3-1 for it, and I think that's actually not a bad option. Yeah, that's actually exactly what we're gonna do. The Wolf Rider has more than gotten its value. Usually with charge minions like that, you are just sort of... they're just removal. You're just paying 3 mana for a 3 damage spell, essentially. But if you can ever get them to hit twice or 3 times, then that's golden.
Bingo! Yes!
Okay, so we could Abusive Sergeant here, but I don't think we need to. We're gonna put out our own taunt, I think. Yeah.
Blood and plunder.
And I think that we could actually Abusive Sergeant and save the axe for something else, and then get some armor. That's probably not a bad idea. This is gonna die either way, so let's do that.
Maggot!
What? Who you want to kill?
And at this point, well, no, I'm not going to save the axe. I have the other weaponsmith right there. Okay, Frost Elemental. Not bad. Corkhunt Elite is an excellent play, and I actually think I prefer that to the weaponsmith right at the moment. Just because right now it looks like we're really going to be rushing him down, so if we rush him down faster, that's even better. Okay, let's hope for luck here. And we get some. Yeah, it's gonna not take any chances at the moment though. It sucks that got out of Cruel Taskmaster range just there. Well, I think the only efficient play that we have is also the good one. We could Faceless and Cruel Taskmaster, but there's nothing that works with that. So we're going to take out the Frost Elemental, and it's going to suck to freeze ourselves, but that's okay. We're going to do that. And then we have some ones too. Oh, of course, we're not going to freeze ourselves. This isn't a Water Elemental. Never mind. That was just fine then. Now we have ones to deal with the Divine Shield. And we're still in a good place to sort of rush them down. Alright, so lots and lots of taunts. Okay, I think I like the play with the Frostwolf Warlord. So we'll clear him out entirely. And get a nice 7/7 on the board. Which we will face this manipulator next turn. This is probably going to be a Hex. Although he's taking a long time to cast it. Yeah, no, he's just going to freeze it, okay. Wow. He drafted 2 Frost Elementals.
There is little time.
Okay, so unfortunately we don't win, but we basically do. I'm sad that we don't have enough mana for both of these. I think we're just gonna do the axe.
No problem.
Okay, wrong, better weapon. This is where he gives it like super Wind Fury and kills me in one go. Right? No, I'm pretty sure he can't actually win. Yeah, he's just playing out what he has.
You win. Well played.
Cool. That was pretty controlling actually. That was pretty commanding. Cool.
Kerash versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
Victory or death!
Alright, well that's a pretty excellent opening hand. So, gee. So it's going to be a coin, fiery war axe. Yeah, coin, fiery war axe. And then I guess Direwolf. And then Bluegill upgrade? Yeah, I think that's good. Could also coin the Direwolf and then Bluegill Warrior the following turn, and then on turn 3, Fiery War Axe and an upgrade. I like coining out the axe against an early Mana Worm or something though. Then again, this is hardly constructed, so whether or not they've got an early Mana Worm is a question all by itself. Okay, and they don't. Yeah, we're gonna coin out the Direwolf. Reason for the Direwolf instead of the Bluegill, of course, is because the mage can't hero power this to death. And next turn the Bluegill will get 3 damage, and the Direwolf will hit for 2. So I'll do 5 damage this turn as opposed to none.
What to do? What to do?
You know, take candle.
And I think I'm going to be aggressive here, and just let her take out the Direwolf and clean this up. With a play like that, usually people feel threatened enough. Okay, so she'll just hero power it. It's alright, the Super Axe is out now, or it will be. It's sort of unfortunate to use the 4-3 axe on a 2-2, but now it's just a better Fiery War Axe. It's 4-2, so that's fine.
I'm ready. I'm not ready.
She drafted like a full-out spell power deck. Now, this is a good question. I could either do the 2s or the 4. I was going to do the 2s, but this time I'm actually going to do the 4, and the reason for that is because next turn is turn 5, and I don't have any mana efficient options if I put out both 2s this time.
Put this apple on your head.
Alright, cool. Yeah, so I think we're going to do the Imp Master and maybe the Novice Engineer, actually, just for the card draw. We're going to take out the Raging Worgen by hand, but first we're going to draw a card in case something magical happens. That's a good card to have around. I don't think it's going to be super necessary here.
I am not a morning person.
Yeah, and I think this is the right play. It's pretty obvious, but you never ever want to leave a Raging Worgen on the table against a mage, because they will enrage it and do 8 damage to you the following turn.
Let the pain speak to me.
Alright, that's fine. I expected that. So all this is fine. Yeah, we're just going to do the Berserker and the Weaponsmith, and we're not going to touch the Acolyte. Unfortunately, he's going to be able to run into a bunch of stuff and get all the cards. But that's alright. He's going to get at least 2. Hopefully he doesn't get a 3rd. I will kill him next turn when he inevitably kills one of my imps. Happily enough, the Acolyte is actually going to enrage my my Amani Berserker for me. Yeah, and that's the play, I think. It's not mana efficient, but that's okay. We're gonna do we could do a brawl here, but I don't like that. We're going to enrage this. We're gonna trade the Imp Master, hit the Drake myself, and then we're gonna Cruel Taskmaster it. Arguably, we could have done something else, like we could have Cruel Taskmastered the Arathi Warmaster for another, or Weaponsmith rather, for another couple of damage, but I think this is fine. Also could have done the Cruel Taskmaster on the Amani Berserker, but for another 2 damage again, and it'd be 7 onto her. So she'd be close to dead, but that's okay. Actually, did I have lethal there? I don't think I had lethal there. I'd be embarrassed if I had lethal there. I miss lethal a lot. sure people will point it out in the comments if I did. Okay, so this is going to be just, I guess we're just going to clear it like this. Man, now I'm just curious. I'm going to watch these replays and be very sad.
Truth is my shield.
May my ancestors watch over.
No problem. So in this instance, since it doesn't actually really... Well, no, you know what? We're not going to leave it to chance. I was going to say, we could just brawl here, but actually let's not. And we're just going to trade all of these creatures and hit her with the Arcanite Reaper. Yep, so it's actually irrelevant, basically, what order we do.
No problem.
I said in the beginning that that weapons equal wins, and weapons equal wins. Anyway, so that's 4. Good start. Let's keep going.
Garrosh versus Uther.
I will fight with honor.
Okay, so against a paladin, this is not bad. We don't have the coin, unfortunately, so we would like a 1. I think we're going to get rid of the Direwolf and hope for a 1, but 2-3 is not bad. Yeah, okay. Okay, well, at the very least we have 2-3-4. And an adaptable 2-3-4. Seems like it's going to be aggressive, though.
It's time for a little blood.
That's exactly the sort of play that we wanted to see. Now we're going to test how good his removal is here.
Reporting for duty.
Okay, that's, Ooh. Huh. I don't want to slow myself down that much. I could just do 3 damage and get the kill on him, and that's fine. I could also just start churning out stuff that he can't deal with entirely. And I think that's probably the better choice here. I'm not going to kill the 1-1. If it were turn 4, if last turn was turn 3, I might have considered it, because Blessing of Kings. But for right now, I don't think it's necessary.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
I think this turn we're actually going to Wolf Rider an upgrade. Yeah, we definitely are.
Ready to ride.
Next turn we have a Frostwolf Warlord that will be very efficient if he doesn't clear anything. This could be a very easy consecrate for him, though. And if it is, then we'll throw down a charge. Okay. So we're gonna do a Frostwolf Warlord here,
The Frost Wolves stand
and we'll get the most possible efficiency out of this axe.
Follow the rules.
Okay, I'll look Peacekeeper. That makes some sense. I'd sort of expected that, but we'll trade the Wolf Rider into that. Yeah.
my steel.
And this is a bit of a tough choice. We could taunt up, or we could just go for aggression. And I think I'm more interested in aggression right at the moment. Okay, plus a might, that's fine. This is one of those scenarios where Brawl might be okay. If we do Brawl, we have a 50-50 chance of having a creature on the board, and he doesn't. We also have a 1 in 25, or well, 75% chance that the 6/3 is gone. The unfortunate part is that unless I get a creature, it kills our tempo quite a bit. But let's do it. Let's do it. I'm a gambler.
For the Horde!
And he gets the blood cell. Yep. I'm okay with that though. I didn't have any valuable minions really. The 1/7 was nice, but I don't really have any means to make him useful.
Reporting for duty.
So next turn we hit him for 6. Or we hit him for 4 and put up a taunt. I think I like that idea better actually. Having the weapon is nice, but I like this.
Your magic shall not save.
Okay, we're gonna silence the taunt and just go right. Oh! Huh. Okay, well. That's not what I was thinking he would do, but so be it, that's fine. So we're gonna get one of these. And the Ironforge Rifleman allows us to kill one of them, and I think I will kill the 7/3, as much as that sucks. I could also kill the 4/3 and let the 7/3 kill itself next turn. I take less damage, and I am a fan of that.
Locked and loaded.
So this time we'll take the risky play and say that he will do this for us. I think that given his position on the board right now and how low in health he is, he might be inclined to do it. I mean, if he doesn't, I have 7 damage on the board. And if I top deck anything good like a Wolf Rider. Well, I think I used my Wolf Rider. And I did. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, that's frustrating. 1 damage short of winning. And he can kill me next turn. So I could trade all of my creatures into the 8/4. And not take the damage myself. And by all of my creatures I include the bluegill. I could hit him in the face with the axe. Yeah, I think that's probably the best chance of living. As much as that is not pleasant.
Watch this.
This game went pretty quickly from looking like we were in control to not being in control.
You call that a win? Reporting for duty.
So, let's see here. He has all kinds of lethal, and there's nothing I can do about it. So, actually, we just lose. The only way that we could win is if we killed him, and we just don't have the resources for it, unfortunately, so... I think he's just going to hit me in the face, which is what he should do, but I'm not going to concede on the off chance that he doesn't. Yep, he knows. Okay, so we have another shaman here. That was the first time I've seen that card in a while. I think we're going to go aggressive against the shaman. Yeah, it's not a bad hand to do it on.
Greetings.
Okay, that's great. Good that he played that out before we got anything interesting. Now he can trade easily with that, and that's trading up, so I'm not actually a fan of that. Next turn we're going to coin out the Weapon Master. The Weaponsmith. I keep on screwing up the name of that one. The Weaponsmith. And we'll just take that out ourselves. He will net 6 damage on us, but at the very least, we won't lose anything for free. There's always a little bit of irony taking out an ooze with a weapon. Okay, the giant taunt of doom. Well, it's not going to be the giant taunt of doom for very long. I think we're just going to charge into that with the Crocon Elite. Yep.
For the war chief!
Watch this.
And he could trade easily with either of them, so we're going to make sure that he doesn't live.
I've got a hit!
Okay. Yeah, I'll take it the other one. So we could do a Cruel Taskmaster and Ironforge Rifleman here to get rid of that. We could also do an Arathi Weaponsmith, but it's going to be mana inefficient to do that. So I'm more a fan of the Taskmaster and the Rifleman. Notable mention would be Warsong Commander and I guess the Cruel Taskmaster.
Back to work!
Pass me that arc light spanner.
Okay, he's just going to get a totem. He has some sort of directed spell in there. Alright, so we're going to get out the Dread Corsair, I think. We could get out Sylvanas, but I think we're going to get out the Dread Corsair instead.
Try this.
Blood and blood!
And both of these would die trading with this. So I think we're just going to hit.
No problem!
Hope he doesn't have a Lightning Storm.
Behold the might of Storm!
Oh wow, okay. That's nice to have been able to scare out. So the only really mana efficient option here would be Warsong Commander and the Sen'jin. And then what we could do is trade most of our creatures into his. And I think I like that plan. So we're going to hit the champion ourselves as well. Be super efficient about it.
Get behind me.
Okay, nice and simple. We can put down the, we can trade the Weaponsmith as well as the Novice Engineer for that. Assuming he doesn't kill my Warsong Commander with a Lightning Bolt. Or a Silence. Okay, he is going to Silence. And he's just going to silence the taunt, which is actually the wrong choice for him. Okay, so we're going to get a card.
I hope you like my invention.
And we'll immediately suicide this. Now, an upgraded Arcanite Reaper is a pretty scary thing. That's 18 damage. I could also put out Sylvanas, but I actually prefer the 18 damage.
They'll never know what hit them.
Nightblade's not a bad card in Arena. But usually, well, that's a bad card in all cases. I hope that was because he had a bad set of choices there. You can never tell in Arena. I don't know why he's so concerned about this engine. I guess it was a little bit more damage. But, he's going to be really sad about that now. Okay, and I guess we'll put out Sylvanas. I think that's the most appropriate thing. I'm very close to winning. I'm shy 2 damage.
I have no time for games.
Well, I'm shy 2 damage, so should I be safe about it and clear his board instead? Well, we're gonna hit him. I think I'm gonna trade out the commander. I don't like him having spell power, but otherwise I think I'm okay with this, especially because now he's in well in range of my axe. He doesn't have a means to heal himself either, unless he has an Earthring Farseer. He certainly has a spell, I would imagine. He's going for the Wrath of Air Totem there. Oh, okay. He's just gonna concede. Cool. Alright, so we're at 5. That's good. Oh, and I had a quest for that today. Perfect. Alright, so a Warlock.
Your soul shall be mine. Victory.
We've been starting with the coin a lot lately. So good, this is a 2/2/3. I like the Warsong Commander, but I think she might be more of a late game card. I mean, most of our creatures do benefit from it. It's between these two, between cutting one of these. Well, no, you know what, we'll draw into stuff. Let's keep them both. They're both excellent in the early game for cutting out any early aggression if he had a good draft. Just like that. So, okay. We're going to get out the, we're going to get out Bluegill. And I guess we're just going to trade? That's pretty crappy, but at least he just took 3 damage, and he's up 1 card for me now. That was the net result there. I'm not going to play this out for no reason.
Almost out of time.
Okay, Murloc Raider. I really hope he wasn't going for like a Murloc synergy deck. That would be the best thing of all time. And we're just going to take it out with this. Cruel Taskmaster would also be fine, but that's mana efficient, and the Cruel Taskmaster actually has synergy with other things. This guy is taking his sweet time with his turns.
Possibilities.
He took a very long time to decide that. That's just sort of annoying, really. We're just going to play the weapon here. So the next turn we have a nice, easy 3-2. Okay, Train Life Mortal Coil. He totally did try to get a Murloc draft. That's incredible. I don't even know what to think about that. Well, either way. I think it might be a bit too early to say this, but I feel as though we're going to get a prime example here of why you do not try to draft a Murloc deck in the arena.
Pass me that Arclight spanner.
Okay, so we have the card draw and we have the Soulfire. That's fine. We have the Arcanite Reaper upgrade trick, and we're certainly going to do that again. And we're just going to rush him down at this point. Wow, this guy really did have a quality draft. Okay, well, I don't see any reason not to play Sylvanas here,
I have no time
so we
for
will.
games.
And I also don't see a reason not to play this.
Fight, maggot.
Okay, we're gonna silence the Sylvanas, that's cool. Her effect was really not the point. Or at the very least, at this point in the game, it's not gonna matter. Okay, and the Azure Drake. Soulfire for the Sylvanas. It's still probably not going to matter unless he has a Mortal Coil. Okay. That's just sort of annoying, more than anything.
Tazingo! Yeah, back to work! Behold the might of Stormwind!
Wow.
It's time for a little blood.
Okay, so we don't quite win. Yes, we do. I was about to miss lethal again. I should run a tally, actually. I tend to be pretty bad about that, just not thinking straight in the end of the game. So I should have a running count of my videos and just see how often I miss lethal. But in any case, 6 and doing well.
Garrosh versus Rexar.
Okay, against a hunter.
Let the hunt begin. Victory or death!
Not a bad hand. Usually instead of 2 4s you want 2 2s when you have the coin. And I think we're gonna drop the charge minion for the weapon minion. Weapons are just so nice. Hopefully we get another 2 out of this. Well, that makes the weapon nicer. Oh, perfect. Oh, wow. That was the, that was the hugest, mistake. That was a, complete noob play. I'm tired, and so, playing, when I'm low on sleep is hardly a good plan. Yeah, that sucks. So I guess what we'll do here is, since we have 3, 4, 5, we'll throw out the Money Berserker.
It's time for a little
And we'll kill this. At least I only missed 2 damage on the hero. It wasn't something huge, but nonetheless, that was a really awful move. Can't believe I did that. Kill command on the Money Berserker. Okay. Well, at least, as much as I... Well, do I want to do this? I mean, I do, because it's mana efficient. But if I'm mana inefficient here, then I can get a card, which gives me more options. And I'd rather save this damage for when he plays something with a 1 on the end of it. So I think I am going to be inefficient here. I mean, I suppose I could do upgrade, but I don't want to do that. I want to save it for the weapon here.
Medic!
Try this.
It's going to make it a bit tough, because I could trade here. Yeah, well, maybe I should do that anyway.
Oh, if you're sure.
I wanted to hold the weapon so that it was a 3-3 instead of just a 3-2, but this way I suppose I get a removal and a free Fiery War Axe. Wow! 2 kill commands right away. So I hope he either drafted many of those, or I guess he's just very concerned about early game removal. You know, I think we're not going to use upgrade on this one. We're going to use upgrade on the next axe. And I think actually it's probably the best play right now.
Try this.
Job done.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Nice. Okay, so we're gonna get. Well, hold on. What's mana efficient? So, so actually, yeah, I think we're gonna put a double taunt here. We could also put out a taunt in the Yeti, and I think maybe that's stronger. And I think since I feel like we've stabilized, or we're about to stabilize, I'm gonna take this in the face and just start hitting him now. Taking things out with the weapon and such has put me quite a bit lower than normally, but I'm okay with that. Wow, he drafted a very, very controlling... oh, jeez. Wow, what is that? 2 kill commands, a multi-shot, and a deadly shot. I mean, ultimately it's going to be irrelevant. I'm just going to put this out now. But wow, that's incredible. He must have just drafted mostly spells. A Sea Giant. Wow. Okay, I think we're just going to push through for some damage here. I'm going to ignore the Giant. It has to get through the tunnel, unless of course he has like another kill command or any one of his other Legion removal spells. If he only kills the Sengen, then I win next turn. Holy crap. Okay, so that's 3 kill commands. Man, what kind of a deck is this? Oh, that's really unfortunate. But that's okay though. We're gonna put this out, and if he chooses to kill it with the Giant, then it kills the Giant. As long as that isn't a deadly shot. And if he lets me get a hit on, I have the Arcanite Reaper, and I just win. He'll probably trade. Oh, he won't. Wow, okay. The question is, does he have a good reason not to?
I'll put it on your head.
No. No, he does not.
For the crusade!
Well played.
How do you do it?
Yeah, he absolutely should have traded there. Oh well. Means that we're at 7.
Garrosh versus
Okay,
Jaina.
Mage.
You asked for it.
Victory or death!
This upgrade has been super value, this draft. I think, though, that I'm not going to keep it here. The Abusive Sergeant is not a good play on turn 1 against a mage, so I guess we're just going to do this. Yeah, that's an okay hand. It's a little bit better, anyway.
Mind if I roll need?
So, we can be greedy here, or we can be less greedy. If we're really greedy, we put out the Warsong Commander and hope that she ignores it. I don't think that's a very good chance, though. With a Loot Hoarder like this, she's okay to get the card, and she'll want to burn this, so I think we're actually going to go for the Razorfen Hunter instead.
Don't mess with Custom.
The reason Warsong would have been super greedy is because the next turn could have been a Raging Worgen, or better, it could have actually been the Razorfen Hunter, and both of these would have gotten charged. She's actually going for the face, okay. I guess, for the sake of efficiency, I'm going to put out the Ironforge Rifleman. I mean, the Wolf is, or the Raging Worgen is good, and the Warsong Commander is good, but at this point, I think the Warsong Commander might be better left until I could actually play even the combo of Warsong Commander Raging Worgen.
Sucks. Steel swine.
Next turn is going to be the Arathi Weaponsmith, and then probably the following turn is going to be Dread Corsair Wolf Rider, so we may actually be able to do that on turn 6, which is a good turn 6. Yeah, I think we're still going to go with the Weaponsmith,
Try this.
and we're not going to trade them all.
Steel swine.
We will let her trade. My board is scarier than hers at the moment, and next turn with a Wolf Rider, we will trade.
It's time for a little blood.
Now, the other thing that we could do here, well, we could do Venture Co, but I'm not going to. We could do the Warsong Commander and the Dread Corsair, but I think we're going to do what we said before.
Blood and plunder.
Oh, that is not at all what we said. I meant to do the Wolf Rider, but I didn't. How about that? Well, that was just a straight up misplay, so I guess we're going to... I guess so that the Amani doesn't get enraged, we're actually going to kill it ourselves. I should not be doing arena when I'm tired. That's 2 times in a row that I've screwed up pretty hard.
To Northrend!
No, this is we're in a bad situation at the moment. We can put out the Warsong Commander, but there's no point. Just because essentially the Wolf Rider has charge anyway, and that's the only mana efficient option. What we could do, I guess, is do the Warsong Commander and the Abusive Sergeant and armor, and that would efficiently kill one of these things. But either way, at the end of the day, 2 creatures die, and one of them is my Warsong Commander. I like the idea of getting the Sen'jin out with charge, so maybe I will just do this and force her to remove it. Now, do I actually... I think it's probably smarter to actually clean off her board. I could hit her down to 17, and next turn I will have a taunt up, but I will take 8 damage for doing that. Yeah, we're gonna clear the board.
Squire, attend me.
Ready, sir.
Now I think the play here is going to be, I think we're going to take out the Warsong Commander here. She can take it out with the hero power then, but she could do that anyway. And she might have like a Frostbolt or something, so she can take it out with this and still have the 4. Yep, no, that's good.
Shields up!
Well, based on my hand and what's on the board in front of me, I might have a difficult time pulling this one out. Well, okay. That was a happy top deck, even if it was only just to get a 5/5 out. Perhaps the better option there would have been the 7/6. But maybe this will bait out a polymorph.
Join.
Oh, she's actually going to trade into it.
Or both. We have many secrets.
Oh, wow. Good. Well, at least she doesn't have a secret to play.
You gotta be kidding me!
That was a really good top deck, just for curve. And also because it's a nice big threat on the board. And that is an excellent response to that, especially given that I have no hand. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Well, if I was going to top deck anything, that was the right thing to top deck. Okay. So the Kirin Tormage lives, and she can hit me for 4 and ping me with the hero power. I mean, I'm going to armor up and not concede in case she has literally nothing, but I've very much lost this game, I think. I guess she doesn't have 2 damage on hand. Oh, now she does. It was a good draw. Alright, so you know, 7 wins is not bad. 7 wins is sort of what you aim for. Because that's exactly cash positive. Cash neutral, I suppose. You get your 150 gold back. So, let's see what we get. So 160, a Mark of Nature, and a pack. Alright, let's see what we got. Just a rare. Alright, well, that's a really unexciting pack in basically every way. Alright, well, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.